This is Vintage Bolton, and I am happy to finally reveal my Coral Holey basket 3.5 inch full range driver build. Nice. The peak and so. Lift that off very carefully. I really struggled for a long time deciding what to do with these drivers. Would I do another massive open baffle build in my main living area? I could swap out drivers in my other baffles, but really I'm running out of space. And renovations are set to start soon on this house here, so I had to look for some other applications, I think. And one thing that I was missing, and missing big time considering, you know, I'm a professional videographer by trade, was a good set of desktop speakers. So some desktop speakers for a little bit of listening, for some working, and some gaming. I knew that I wanted to go open baffle, but I also knew of the limitations of open baffles, especially in this desktop environment. To get any sort of, you know, legitimate bass response from open baffle, you know, the baffles need to be huge. And even then I've found, as you might have seen in my other videos, that I find it best to supplement that full range driver with an extra woofer driver. And that is an absolutely lovely, beautiful combination. I love that with my other Coral drivers. But I didn't really have any other small woofer drivers laying around. I'm not the type of person to go out and buy, you know, brand new woofers. I did have some Minimus 11s laying around, and I thought maybe I could harvest a woofer from that, but they are fine speakers on their own. So I didn't really want to mess with them. So I thought I'd start by finding the timber that I wanted to use, and I found this beautiful blue gum timber slab from my local shop. And it turns out it's 34 millimeters thick, so that would also present its own set of problems. I really wanted to rear mount the drivers for aesthetic purposes, but with the baffle being so thick, I really didn't want to sacrifice any of that imaging. This is the first time I've ever flush front mounted a driver, so I think that turned out pretty well. But I'd still like to try that. I'd still like to try rear mounting it and then chamfering the edge again. Problem is I didn't have a chamfer bit that was going to give me a chamfer as thick as the baffle, which would smooth out that baffle diffraction. That would have cost a bomb. Right now I've got it hooked up to my laptop, running that through, running Tidal and other digital sources through my Dragonfly Black DAC and into the Mission Cyrus 1 amplifier. I guess it's the smallest amplifier I've got. That's a lie, actually. I've got this little thing. And I did give it a go, but God, I don't know how anyone can play out of those things. This is probably not going to do them justice at all. In fact, it sounded horrible. Anything I've used on this sounds horrible. So there's room, I think, to investigate acquiring another one of those small, you know, Class D amplifiers. But really, I'd love something like a single-ended amplifier on the desktop. I struggled where to supplement that bass from. And I thought, well, it'd be great to have a woofer driver there. And it's got me thinking about future projects and maybe doing a small H frame, open back H frame with a woofer cone there to really supplement the bass. Because all I'm using right now is one of those Yamaha subwoofers that I've got. There's my CRT TV there as well for some retro gaming later. That's what I had, and that fills in the bass splendidly. It really opens up. So how do they sound? They're just as incredible as everyone says they are. I had been listening to them in no boxes, in no frames, no baffles, and I already knew the potential. I could already hear the potential coming out of them. The first time I fired them up, the imaging and the clarity is second to none. I can't name another driver that I've got or used in the past, except maybe some really high-end bookshelf speakers that sound as good as this. And well, you know, you're paying a fortune for those. Because by all accounts, when you do put these Coral Holey basket drivers into a box, they do lose a bit of their magic. I think they might be a little bit shouty, which I was surprised about. And that could be my baffle. And remounting them might have actually helped that, and chamfering the circle cut out. That might have helped clip those highs just a little bit. But it's nothing that's bothering me at all. And it's really funny because I've got my eye on another one of those Sony reel-to-reel tape players, the TC500s. And I am this close to acquiring it from a seller, but it's in storage. And I had thought that perhaps I could double up on the driver to maybe fill in some of that lower mid bass if I just add an inductor like on my other builds, and then, you know, the subwoofer would still be needed, I think, for the lower registries. Overall, I'm really happy with the look and the build. Once I'm really happy, I'm definitely going to protect this baffle with some sort of varnish, I suppose. Right now, I've just got a couple of coats of oil and wax, which I've buffed into it. I really wasn't happy with these feet that I made. I think it was a good attempt, but in hindsight, I should have just used some nice piece of plexiglass or acrylic on either side. And my thinking was it could be some sort of U-frame if I were to get the second driver. Right now I'm just using a terminal block like I usually do before I'm 100% happy. It's definitely got me thinking about the future of my speaker builds. Perhaps I can work towards creating a product for sale now. You know, especially that I'm running out of these vintage drivers. They're becoming harder to find. You know, I've started investigating what companies sort of still provide these drivers, these full range drivers that I love so much. And there's a couple of options out there, like Fostex, who still create, well, I think in some sort of iteration, still create this driver. And then there's a 3-inch full range driver that I've been looking at from Lee-Song Audio, because I'm obviously trying to create this desktop speaker. So size is an issue. I definitely don't want some massive, you know, bookshelf speakers sitting on my speaker. And even, to be honest, you know, I think the baffle was too tall. Could have probably cut that much off of it, but I was really unsure about the second driver. But this sort of width is what I'd love to create in future using newer drivers. See if I can really offer something that is really affordable, but just has this sort of quality sound coming out of them. Anyway, the plan is to do some editing, to do some work with this setup now. Might find another amplifier, and one of my second sources will be my good old PlayStation 1. It's the audiophile version. This one is not working. I need to give it a good clean out service, and I'm pretty sure the disk drive is kaput, so I need to find a replacement for the disk drive. I'm also going to be playing some retro games on that. Why not? But thanks for watching and listening to my thoughts. Hope you enjoyed the build process, which I sort of peppered throughout this video, this explanation. And I'll leave you with a track as usual. It's called Solace by Kylo, and it's another royalty-free track, so I think it really highlights what these speakers are good at. If you haven't already, please subscribe. There'll be more of these sort of builds coming along. Hit that like button, and please comment below about your experiences with them, what you think I should have done, if anything else. Love to hear everyone's thoughts and experiences with them. Until next time, bye for now.